When you travel through the world, you come across a lot of different kinds of people. Hylians, Gerudo, Birdkeepers, and of course Sheikah. Wait, Birdkeepers?
Yes, it is I, the legend himself, Birdkeepertoby, and today you and I, Dr.Wily, are going to talk about the Sheikah that appear in Breath of the Wild and theorise as to whether they're actually Sheikah at all and where they even came from.
I mean, yeah, sure, totally, but I thought we went more for like a dramatic introduction. This works as well, but it's just a bit unexpected for me.
Oh well, doesn't matter. Let's get this show started.
The Sheikah, also known as the Shadow Folk. They are a mysterious and secretive tribe. They are the chosen guardians of the goddess Hylia, and later the protectors of the descendants of her mortal incarnation, the royal family of Hyrule. The Sheikah are also the founders of Kakariko Village, which would become one of the main settlements of Hyrule. We have only seen a handful of them in the entire series, but in Breath of the Wild we see loads of them out of nowhere. But how? The Sheikah have been prominently mentioned during the events of Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. However, very few Sheikah actually do appear in the series. Impa and the monks are the only confirmed members of the tribe. However, all the people seen in Kakariko Village are also part of the tribe. For example, Paya says that she has a long Sheikah lineage. But how's that possible? Normally we never see this many of them in any Zelda game. Let's first analyze them to see if we can find anything. Alright Toby, what have you found?
Well, I normally do videos about Pokemon, but I do happen to be a massive Zelda fan, so this shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so what are the Sheikah, and what are the traits and characteristics that make them stand out amongst the other races of the Zelda world? Sadly, they don't appear in a lot of the games, with Impa and Impaz being the only members that really appear from time to time, so we don't get to see a lot of their race as a whole. We don't know an awful lot about their shared traits, however we do know it is said that they all have red eyes, and that is the thing that distinguishes them, as well as pointy ears, but Hylians have pointy ears also. But red eyes, that is a specific Sheikah trait, so a good place to start would be to look at the eyes of the people in Kakariko Village in Breath of the Wild, and see if it lines up. And here is where we run into our first set of problems, because no red eyes. Sadly, the people in Kakariko, they have all variation of colour, blue, grey, brown. No red though. And this is extremely weird because even Impa and Paya, who say that they are of Sheikah descent, don't have red eyes. They do have the pointed ears that come with the Sheikah, but as I said, that is a trait that they share with the Hylians. So is it possible that these guys are just Hylians? Looks like it. However, there is also an evil group of Sheikah who swore allegiance to Calamity Ganon, and they are known as the Yiga Clan. And this group of people share a lot of similarities with the Sheikah, except they have sworn allegiance to Calamity Ganon. Could they be the real Sheikah? Well, I don't actually know because I'm not that far into Breath of the Wild yet. Wily, you can help me out here, right? You're that far into the game.
Well, yes, I'm currently doing the Divine Beast in that region, so I already had my fair share of encounters with them. Long ago, the king and the Hylians started to fear the Sheikah tech when it was at its biggest and best, which was 10,000 years ago. Thanks to the fear, the Sheikah became outcasts, with many members deciding to heed the royal family's concerns, burying their technology within the land should Ganon ever return again, and settle down within the land under much more primitive conditions. However, these events also caused much bitterness and eventually led to a shift within the tribe. Many members believe that the royal family mistreated them after all they've done for Hyrule, and defected to form the Yiga Clan. They blessed the land with huge amounts of power, and their machines helped to defeat Calamity Ganon. But the Yiga swore loyalty to Calamity Ganon, since they believed he would have much more respect for their abilities and technology. Now they all look quite different from the ones seen in Kakariko Village, since they all wear masks with upside down Sheikah emblems. Their ears are pierced, so we're not sure if they're pointed just like the others, and their face is covered so we can't see their eyes. Yet again, we are running into problems. We can't really determine if they have the classic traits. However, since they were originally part of the Sheikah seen in Kakariko Village, it is very likely that they also don't have red eyes. So we don't see real Sheikah. The only ones who are confirmed to be 100% Sheikah are the monks. But we also can't see their eyes. But there's another option here. What if they lost this trait in all those years? Well, it's not likely, since even the Sheikah in the first game in the timeline Skyward Sword have red eyes. so they probably didn't lose this in time. Now, the Sheikah are mentioned a lot in Breath of the Wild. So at least some of them must be real Sheikah, right? Well, let's say the monks are certainly Sheikahs, since Nintendo confirmed this. But this creates another problem. Where did these Sheikah come from? We know that this game takes place somewhere after Twilight Princess, since this was set in the game. But there's a problem with this. In that timeline, we only saw one Sheikah, Impaz, and she also had the classic red eyes. And in Four Swords Adventures, we don't even see them. So I don't know how this is possible. This means that there were almost none of them in the games before Breath of the Wild, and all the so-called Sheikah seen in the game don't seem to fit with the description.
So I think we can be almost 100% certain that the people that are in Kakariko Village are not real Sheikah. Maybe it's just that they are trying to revive the culture of the Sheikah tribe. And this can be seen with the Hylia statues. The statues of the goddess Hylia that the Sheikah have sworn to protect, they appeared first in Skyward Sword on one end of the timeline, and now on this end of the timeline, and nowhere in between. It's actually very hard to come up with an explanation for this unless the explanation is you have a group of people trying to resurrect an ancient and dead culture. And along with the technology that they brought with them 10,000 years before the game starts, they also brought with them statues of the goddess Hylia, and adopted the mentality and the role of the Sheikah, but biologically, they are just Hylians. This would entirely explain as to why the Sheikah in Breath of the Wild don't have red eyes, and to why there are so many of them all of a sudden, given that historically we've only ever seen like 1 or 2 members of the race. But what about the monks and the Yiga then? Well, we never see their face, so we can't know for sure, so I suppose that will always remain a mystery. Another option could be an alternate timeline, but let's not get into that, because if we go there, well, it just becomes a guessing game, because it makes anything possible.
However, we do see something that looks like the Mirror of Twilight, but that one was destroyed. So that seems like an alternate timeline thing. Hey, while we're on the topic of legends in the Zelda universe, the 3 golden goddesses share a lot of similarities with some godlike Pokemons. And I did a video about that with Birdkeepertoby.
And by the way, if you like seeing me and Dr.Wily appearing together, then we're actually going to 2 different event appearances. I am from the UK and Dr.Wily is from the Netherlands, but we will be appearing at 2 different events at each, but together. This whole Breath of the Wild thing has us hanging out a lot. The first event is at Vidcon Europe in Amsterdam. We won't actually be attending the event, but we will be in the event area, and we will be there from 2 PM till, say, 4 PM on both the Saturday and the Sunday. That is the 8th and the 9th of April, so if you're in Amsterdam, if you're in the Netherlands, or if you're going to VidCon, why not come and hang out? Make sure you're following us on Twitter and we can best coordinate where we're going to be. But that is one event we will be attending there in Amsterdam. The following weekend, there's an event at Birmingham NEC, and that is Insomnia. We will both be attending that whole event, so again, make sure you're following us on Twitter. We can coordinate where we're going to be. But specifically, we're going to be celebrating Zelda at the Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses Orchestra, and they have very kindly given us both tickets to attend. Links to where you can get your tickets to that event and every other event are in the description below. Please come say hi, it's going to be a fantastic show. Listening to the music of Zelda live is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and it'll be so lovely to see some of you there. Also, April is my birthday month, so it's kind of like a nice birthday present for me. Anyway, we hope to see you there, and see you over on my channel. Links to everything you need is in the description, check it all out. See you later.